guys, it's Danielle here, back with another video. Not back with my boyfriend, back at Disney. But anyways, like I said, I'm at Disney. You guys can kind of see the hotel, barely though, it's covered by trees. But anyways, I last dropped my music video. I just dropped it today. And while I was filming this music video, something happened. So I figured that I would make it into a cool video and make it into a story time. Especially the funniest part is that my mom didn't even believe me about it. She thought that I was lying, trying to hear it from someone else. So you guys probably think I'm lying too, but trust me, I'm not lying. Because yeah, before we get into this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell, and comment below if you guys like the video. If not, if you guys haven't already seen it, it's right here. Go check it out. And let's get on with the video. Okay, so first things first, I was just recording my video, you know, fun. And we went to this place called the Salton Sea. The Salton Sea, here's an image of it right here. So it's kind of like an abandoned town. The population is 290. It has the lowest population in the whole United States. So it's very tiny. Only 290 people live there. That's like crazy to me actually. And when we got there, it was pretty, you know, like the way there was pretty. We were going through the desert. But when we got there, it was a little weird. It was in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't any gas stations, nothing until like an hour out. So first of all, my first thing was like, how do these people get food? And you know, like, it's not a bad thing if you don't have money, but you can kind of like, you could tell that area, like the people that live there, they didn't have the most money. They didn't have that much, you could tell. Because a lot of the houses were kind of just like broken, like you guys could tell in the video. So everywhere, like there was spray paint all over it. And the houses, honestly, they weren't even really houses. It was more just like wood. And half of the houses you would go into and it would just be like mattresses and like wood cut up everywhere and like messages. And not even like good messages, very like inappropriate messages. Also, when we were driving up, there was like this message and it was like, come in, like safe shelter, like this weird stuff. And this guy was like sitting in this house that was just torn apart. So automatically we were like, okay, this place is kind of weird, like whatever, you know, we'll film it really quick. But what had happened was the water, I guess, rised up too far and it went over everything. So a lot of people left the town and that's why there's only like 200 people that live there now. And anyways, there was only one bar. There was like this one bar and then it was just a whole neighborhood. There was little like chihuahuas running around. Like we really were just really confused about what was going on. At first we were really weirded out because we pulled up to a place where we were gonna film. It was right before like the Salton Sea water, and then it was this place that had like an abandoned boat, like all this stuff. And we get there and a bunch of cars pull up after us. And we're thinking, oh, they're tourists too, they're here. And then like 5 minutes after, they start driving around. And Mikey's dad was with us. He was kind of weirded out. So he was like driving around too to see where they were going. They had homes that they lived in. And so they weren't tourists. They weren't looking at the Salton Sea. They weren't like curious about it. They had actually lived there. So I don't know if maybe a lot of people don't go there and they just like wanted to see what we were doing. I really don't know. But one of the weirdest things was that the car was actually a Range Rover. And Range Rovers are pretty pricey. They're like around like 50K to 100K. It was a nice one. It was one of the newer ones. And I was really weirded out. I was like, all these cars here, they look like they're just like I said, like the homes they were really like just jacked up, like the windows were smashed, everything. But it was a really cool place to film, but it also looked really dangerous. And this guy was in there. He kept driving around and we like saw his house, like he lived there. And we were just kind of like, why is someone with a Range Rover living like here, you know? It was just really weird to us. Like you have such expensive cars and all that kind of stuff, but you're living in one of the lowest population city. And when we were actually, this is when we were driving out of there, he also had a U-Haul truck, a big U-Haul truck, but they weren't moving anything. They were all in like an RV. So automatically we were just like, okay, this is weird. let's try and film these scenes. Let's try and get out of here as soon as possible. So I'm filming a scene. And let me just put this in your mind that you can't mistake me for anyone. I have bright purple eyeshadow on. My freaking hair is in ginormous waves. I'm wearing a bodysuit that literally goes like this, and my like whole boobs are out, and booty shorts, and like a gold fanny pack. You cannot like mix me up with someone else, especially like the people that lived there. They were all older. They weren't like kids. Like there was no possible way that this guy thought I was someone else. And I'm filming, and you couldn't really see like, cause it was Joe. He films all my videos. It was him and his girlfriend. They were filming, but they were like on the other side. So he didn't see that there was anyone with me. And I start hearing like this weird voice, like being like, you, come here. And I was just like, where's that coming from? Like I thought maybe it was like in the song or something. I was like, and I look over, and this guy is whispering to me, literally treating me like a dog, being like, you, come here. And I was just like, okay, first of all, this wasn't the first time that people have attempted to kidnap me. There was one time when I was little. So I'm not like, you know, everyone knows not to like go up to a stranger, like a guy that's being like, you, come here. Like, so of course I didn't go up to him. And we're in the middle of filming like the lip singing part. And I stop. And I'm just like feeling uncomfortable, like I'm kind of like scooting back. And the guy is getting closer. He drops all of his stuff down and starts walking as fast as he can towards me. And then Joe, like, he looks over and he's like, what's going on? And I like pointed. And so he like steps out and he goes, like, excuse me, like what's going on? And the guy literally drops like a bunch of stuff, like a camera, a drone, freaking weird stuff that you would have when you're living in this like abandoned little town, you know? Like, why would you have these like expensive like Canon, like the new Canon cameras, like a new drone? Really, really weird. It was just like, oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else. And I was just kind of like, okay, there is no possible way you thought I was someone else. You cannot mistake a girl with me when I'm wearing something like that, especially with gray hair. Like, no, you can't do that. So we're going, and Joe was just like, okay, we need to like get out of here. Like, it's really weird. So we wanted to go and film on the street. And also, while we're filming the rest of the scene, he was just like, let's just get this scene done and then we'll leave. The guy is circling around in a circle in his Range Rover. And we were just like, why is this guy circling around? So Mikey was there too, and I just told them all what happened. I was like, yeah, we need to get out of here like as soon as possible. So Mikey, his dad, and Willie, which Willie was there too, they decided to go and drive to see like where this Range Rover was, like if he was maybe like someone that didn't live here or like what he was just doing. So they go with him and they like start following him. He gets out of his car and he just smiles at them. Keep this in mind, the house is ruined that they were at, so they had like this big like RV and a U-Haul truck. The U-Haul truck was closed, but they weren't moving. They were just all in there. They had like their drinks everywhere. And I don't know, but a lot of the times in movies and stuff like that, like people that like kidnap younger kids, they'll usually put them in like a truck or something. Like if you guys have ever watched the movie Kidnapped, they put them in like the back of a truck. So when they saw that, they were automatically like, this guy is like up to something. And that's what I thought too. That's what my mom thought. That's what like everyone, like my mom was so mad. Like Mikey's dad was freaking out. Mikey was freaking out. We all were freaking out. We were like, we need to get out of this town like as soon as possible. Not only was the Range Rover guy following us, just random people from that town was just following us. And then there was dogs coming up to the car and like barking at us, like, and it was like little dogs, but they were like doing like deadly barks, like freaking growling everything. It was just so weird. So then Joe was like, let's maybe go like to another side. We'll go and like see if like we can find like another place maybe to film. Just like we start driving and these like people are just walking and death staring us, like literally death staring us. And then we see the guy with the Range Rover gets in his car, starts following us. So we are just like, and the scene would have been so cool too. And he was just like, he's like, no, we need to like, we can't like have this guy following us. Like he's obviously up to something. So we're just like, okay, we gotta get out of this place. It was literally like a movie. Like when I tell you this place was like a movie, it was like a movie. Barely anyone's ever heard of it. Like I didn't even know about the Salton Sea. And I look it up and I'm just like, what is this place? Like I thought it was just like a sea. I didn't know that there was an actual town. And also when you get to the Salton Sea, you have to drive like 40 minutes down to get to the abandoned town. Because the Salton Sea is really big. Like it's a really pretty lake. But then when you get all the way down, that's where the whole like abandoned little like city is. And actually I've been getting a lot of questions about that, like where I filmed that big door scene and like the swing at the end. That was at the Salton Sea. And I was wondering, I was like, how did they get a door right here? Like it literally reminded me of like Monsters Inc., like the doors. Well, I'm guessing that it was someone's house that got ruined and the door and the swing set was the only thing that stayed. Also, it smelled terrible. Like it smelled like fish, like dead fish everywhere. There was dead fish bones everywhere. Just disgusting. Like the most disgusting like lake, beach I've ever been on, but the coolest at the same time, but also the most dangerous at the same time. So if you go to the Salton Sea, make sure to bring a parent with you. Don't go alone. Just super, super weird. But I thought I would share this because, you know, it's a fun story and it's funny, but it's also scary at the same time. So we ended up leaving, and just like the fact, ever since that day, I've really wanted to know what that guy was trying to do. Because really, when you think about it, this guy is talking to me like I'm a dog, telling me, get over here, get over here. Drives around in his like expensive car in the middle of an abandoned freaking city where people live that obviously don't have money. Oh, forgot to tell you this, okay? I'm gonna finish this part. And he's just driving around. We're on the way out and we see a sign that says, please drive careful. Cops do not come around the Salton Sea. We only fly over once in a while. So cops don't come to this place. Cops don't go to the Salton Sea. So what better place to have a whole little kidnapping place than the Salton Sea, where the only place in the world that I've ever seen that doesn't have cops come. Cops don't come. You have a big U-Haul truck, but you're not moving. You live in an abandoned freaking city or whatever town, and there's like no one that lives there. There's only 200 people. And you're mistaking a little girl in a freaking bright purple outfit for one of your friends. What does that add up to? Looks like you were doing some fishy business over there. I don't know what you were doing, but yeah, looks like it. But anyways, that's about it. I mean, that's my story for you guys. I've never done a story time, so I thought it would be fun to do, and this was like fun because my music video just dropped. But yeah, just be careful, and if a guy starts talking to you like you're a dog, don't fall for it. But other than that, the video was super, super fun. Everything else was fine. The Salton Sea was a little sketchy, but you know what? It's fine. And for everyone that lives there, you know, it's a good place to live, you know? Hopefully, I don't know. Also, guys, comment below if something like that has ever happened to you, or if you guys like the video. And also, if you guys like my new image, like a little rapper. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know the story. It's just a story to tell. But yeah, go check out my new video if you already haven't. If you guys liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell, and make sure you're safe when you go to the Salton Sea. I'll see you guys next time. Sponsor for this video is Zero Impact High Protein Meal Bars, Serious Chocolate by Bang Energy. Normal protein bars taste disgusting to me and I hate them. But I actually started trying these with Bang. They taste absolutely amazing. You guys should definitely go and check out Bang Energy on Instagram and find yourself some, because everyone needs protein and this is the best way to have it. And go to bang-energy.com to get yours. Yummy!